Jesus came to this earth, he fulfilled 324 messianic prophecies that were written in the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament. These prophecies were highly specific, some of them mathematical. The temple rituals in the Tanakh point to who Yeshua is and what he came to do. The Red Heifer ritual was one of the most mysterious rituals in the Tanakh. It is said that King Solomon was baffled by it, and he was known as one of the most wise men to ever walk the earth. You can find the entire ritual of the Red Heifer in Numbers 19. Firstly, the ritual required an entirely red cow. Now, this is an extremely rare thing to find, so the sages of course understood that God, Yehovah, would have to deliver the cow, much like the ram was delivered to Abraham when he was about to sacrifice his son Isaac. It is the only ritual that was carried on outside of the camp. The blood applications were applied to areas outside of the Levitical altar. This was not the case with any other sacrifice. The priest who performed this sacrifice became contaminated by the sacrifice, but anyone who was sprinkled with the sacrifice became clean. Alongside with the burning of the calf, they burnt the ritual items for cleansing of leprosy. Do you remember how many lepers that Yeshua cleansed when he walked this earth? It creates this picture of being cleansed from defilement and uncleanliness. The ashes of this sacrifice were the only ashes of any sacrifice that were preserved. They were preserved and then added to water, and this waters were called the waters of separation. The red heifer was the only sacrifice associated with cleansing from sin and death. All of the other sacrifices had other purposes, but the red heifer was only for this purpose. If you go through this sacrifice, you can see how it is a shadow of what Yeshua did for us on the cross. He, of course, was killed outside of the camp, outside of the city gates. He was without sin or defect, and he became unclean and defiled by taking on the punishment for us. The red heifer is a picture of Yeshua's power to cleanse us from sin and death. There are hundreds of these pictures in Scripture, which is why it's so amazing to study the entire Scriptures.